Impeachment plot crashes as Chief Judge blocks move against Fubara. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to Gist Angle, your hub for hot gist and verified news updates. Just when many people thought the Rivers impeachment train had finally left the station, the engine has suddenly stalled. And this time, it wasn't politics that applied the brakes, it was the law. In a move that has shocked lawmakers, silenced impeachment drumbeats, and completely reshaped the Rivers power game, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Siminalayi, has refused to set up a panel to probe Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy. And make no mistake, this single decision has flipped the entire script. What was meant to be a swift impeachment process has now turned into a legal minefield. And the political tension in Rivers State has entered a far more dangerous and complicated phase. Now, for those who do not know the real story, for weeks, Rivers State has been sitting on a political keg of gunpowder. Lawmakers loyal to powerful interests had accused Governor Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odu, of gross misconduct, from budgetary impropriety to unauthorized spending and alleged disrespect for the House of Assembly. The numbers looked scary: 26 out of 32 lawmakers backing the move. On paper, impeachment looked almost inevitable. The House of Assembly followed the script. Impeachment notices were read. Allegations were itemized. Motions were adopted. Then came the critical step: writing to the Chief Judge to constitute a 7-man judicial panel, the final legal bridge between accusation and removal. But that bridge has just collapsed. You may be wondering why the Chief Judge had to say no. In a detailed letter addressed to Speaker Martin Amaewhule, Justice Siminalayi made one thing very clear: my hands are tied, not by fear, not by politics, but by the law. According to the Chief Judge, his office had already been served with 2 interim court orders, one fired by Governor Fubara and another by his deputy. These orders explicitly restrained him from receiving, considering, or acting on any impeachment-related communication. In simple terms, the court had already stepped in before the Assembly could complete its move. And it didn't stop there. The Speaker of the Assembly, rather than wait, had already appealed the interim orders at the Court of Appeal. Once an appeal is entered, the doctrine of lie pendens kicks in, meaning all parties must freeze actions until a higher court decides. Justice Amade leaned fully on this principle and said, plainly, nothing moves until the appeal is resolved. That one sentence didn't just delay impeachment, it neutralized it. You may ask, is this a big deal? Yes. This refusal is not a minor procedural issue. It is a constitutional chokehold on the impeachment process. Under Section 188 of the Nigerian Constitution, impeachment cannot proceed without a judicial panel set up by the Chief Judge. No panel, no investigation. No investigation, no removal. What this means in reality is that the lawmakers have hit a legal wall, and no amount of political muscle can knock it down. This is also a rare moment where the judiciary has drawn a bold line between itself and political pressure. In a climate where judges are often accused of bending under influence, Justice Amade's letter reads like a quiet but firm declaration: the court will not be dragged into political warfare. Now, are there political implications tied to this? Yes. Politically, this decision buys Governor Fubara time. And time in politics is power. It allows him to consolidate, negotiate, and possibly reposition while the impeachment fire cools off. For the lawmakers, it is a dangerous pause. Momentum is everything in impeachment politics. Once the rush slows, divisions creep in, loyalty weakens, external pressure builds. This development also deepens the already toxic Rivers power struggle. What started as a legislative showdown has now transformed into a courtroom battle, and courtroom battles are slower, messier, and far less predictable. Now, the silent message to power brokers. There is also a louder message beneath the silence. Institutions still matter, no matter how strong political interest may be. There are legal boundaries that cannot be crossed without consequences. Justice Amadi didn't just block a panel, he reinforced the idea that impeachment is not a mob action. It is a constitutional process, and shortcuts will not stand. For a state already scarred by prolonged political crisis, this stance could either calm tensions or push actors toward more desperate moves. So what happens next? At this stage, the political future of Rivers State has effectively been handed over to the Court of Appeal, with the Chief Judge stepping aside due to existing court orders. The next major move will not come from the House of Assembly or Government House, but from the judiciary. Whatever decision the appellate court takes will shape the direction of this crisis and determine whether the impeachment process moves forward or grinds to a complete halt. If the Court of Appeal upholds the interim injunctions, the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy could suffer a fatal blow. Such a ruling would not only reinforce the legal protection currently shielding the governor, but also weaken the momentum of lawmakers who have been driving the impeachment. Over time, political enthusiasm may wane, alliances could shift, and the once strong push for removal may gradually collapse under legal fatigue and public scrutiny. In that scenario, Rivers State could be left with deep political wounds, mistrust, lingering bitterness, and a fractured political class that may struggle to work together long after the crisis subsides. However, if the appeal succeeds and the injunctions are lifted, the political temperature in Rivers State could rise sharply again. Lawmakers may return with renewed confidence, pushing the impeachment process forward with greater urgency and determination. Such a development could reignite old hostilities, intensify power struggles, and politically plunge the state into another round of political turbulence. The crisis, instead of cooling down, may enter a more aggressive and unpredictable phase. Either way, Rivers State is not heading toward peace yet. It is heading deeper into uncertainty. For now, Governor Fubara remains in office, shielded not by political alliances, but by court orders. The Chief Judge has spoken, the law has intervened, and the impeachment train has been forced to stop, at least temporarily. But in Rivers politics, nothing ever truly ends. It only pauses. As the drama continues to unfold, here are questions Nigerians are asking. Will the Court of Appeal calm the Rivers crisis or unknowingly ignite a bigger political fire? Is this legal pause a genuine victory for due process or just a temporary shield for the governor? And when the court finally speaks, will Rivers State move towards stability or sink deeper into political uncertainty? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss our next update.
It's just Angle.